Oh my gosh.
Ahora les cantaremos.
Oh my gosh.
Morning, partners. How are you guys doing today? Well, today's gonna be a golden day because finally, after literally hundreds of comments from you guys, I'm finally doing the first golden modifications to the golden 370Z. Performance modifications, just to be clear.
We're gonna be fitting test pipes on the golden 370Z. I know in previous videos, you guys have pretty much told me to do all the work myself. And I pretty much had the opportunity to take it to one of the exhaust dudes, but I was like, oh, why don't I just do it by myself? And I'm not 100% sure how legal this is, but in Kentucky, there's not really any emissions testing. I got these test pipes for about $100 from eBay, so I took them to an exhaust dude, and he said that they were actually pretty well made. It looks golden. And I'm actually not sure how these are gonna hold up because I looked at a 350Z that did some test pipes and it was too loud. So if it's too loud, I'm probably just gonna do a resonator delete instead. So, so we're gonna compare both. So if it's too loud, I'm probably just gonna sell this to one of you or just give it away. So just leave a thumbs up on this golden video and let's start doing this. They pretty much came with all the gaskets and everything that I'm gonna use and all the screws, but I've never done this before. The first thing, jack stands, because I do not want to get myself killed. Oh my gosh, I got these golden pieces of wood so I can pretty much put them on the tires so it can raise up the car. Even so, if the jack stands fail, the tires are going to land on these pieces of wood and not land on top of my head. And I also checked on how to do these for the 370, but there was like almost no videos at all of how to change the test pipes. So this is pretty much going to be like an experimental process. So if I'm doing anything wrong, just destroy me in the comment section. Yep, and these are the golden tools I got. So I'm not sure it's gonna be enough, but we're still gonna try. So I couldn't buy the hydraulic jacks because pretty much I don't have a lot of money. I ran out of my budget. So I'm pretty much gonna use the stock scissor jack stands that came with the 370Z. So I've never opened this compartment before, but we're just gonna do it now. There's so much crap in my car, it's amazing. In case you guys don't know, when I was growing up, my dad was not really a car guy, and so we didn't really work on the car engine and do all those fancy mods ourselves. So this should be very interesting because I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm pretty much at the first obstacle. So there's supposed to be something that does this. Let me show you. There's supposed to be something that leads here and then that I can use to turn this thing, but for some reason it's not there. So I'm probably gonna have to go to Lowe's or Walmart to get the extension for this. So this should be very interesting.
And just like that, the first day was over. I actually didn't end up going to buy the part from Lowe's, and I found my minivan had a jack in it that had the part, and so that's what I pretty much used. And with that, let's start the golden day 2.
Morning, partners. I have told myself that I'm gonna pretty much be done with this exhaust and this cat thingy today. And I think I'm pretty much turning into a mechanic right now because I've bought so many tools. Even the salespeople were looking at me really weirdly. But I will try my best not to make this a total disaster because I plan to survive through this entire process. First of all, make sure your car is cool before you operate on the engine because it's gonna lead to a lot of burn. Oh my gosh, it's hot. Woo.
Okay, so before I started this thing, one thing I was really scared of was pretty much getting crushed by the car. But like a lot of things in life, I just had to man up and act like I knew what I was doing, which I clearly did not know what I was doing. So first, I used the scissor jack to raise up the car on one side, then I put the jack stand under the car, and then I put the wood under the tires so it doesn't crush my head, and I repeated the same thing for the other side of the car. And I promise it's not as hard as it looks.
Oh gosh! Okay, so I successfully finally raised up the car on the jack stands and I used the wood as backup. So in case the jack stands fail, the wood can always help. Yeah, I'm just really scared I'm just trying to imagine my head just getting crushed by this car. But still, no risk, no reward.
So the first set of bolts you need to take out are 4 bolts. There's 2 on each side, here and here. So using the 14mm socket and the ratchet, remove the 2 bolts connecting each catalytic converter to the Y pipe. So next, I used penetrating oil to spray on all the places where there were bolts and nuts, so it'll make it easier for me to get the bolts and nuts out without damaging too many things. But before I started taking off the bolts and nuts, there was one big problem.
Hey Siri, how do you loosen a bolt?
And after getting some wise information from Siri, I was ready to start like a champ. But again, there was another problem.
Oh, this is impossible. I just ate dirt. Or an insect.
It seemed impossible to take out the bolts and the nuts, but finally, after a lot of tears, a lot of bleeding, a lot of screaming, I finally succeeded. And with that, the day was over.
Pretty much, this is day 6, I think, or 5 of installing the test pipes. And I couldn't do it yesterday because, as you can see, rain fell, and yeah, so there was a storm and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, today is the day, because if I don't install it today, then I don't know what I'm gonna do to myself. But I have a hammer here, so you guys can guess. And as you can see, the results from crawling under the car without anything. Look at that. Oh.
And I also have to disconnect the O2 sensors as well. And it's actually pretty easy to do that as well. There's like a male and female plug that you just pretty much unplug. It's pretty simple.
When your O2 sensor is out, it should pretty much look like this. So you pretty much just pull, but really mind not to pull the wires so you don't like disconnect or make any complications for yourself.
And after doing that, the next thing is to take out the O2 sensor. Now there's 2 ways to do this. The first is you can decide to take out the O2 sensor from the cats while they're still on, or you can take the cats off and then take the O2 sensors out. And to get it loose, you need a 22mm wrench. After that, the next step was to take apart the cross brace, connecting the catalytic converters and the transmission. To do that, I used the 14mm socket and the ratchet, and I removed the 4 bolts connecting them. And be careful with this part because the brace might fall, so be ready to catch it.
So far so not bad. I am pretty much super extra tired right now. And you can see my hand, they're pretty much, yeah, black. I'm black, but it just made it a little bit blacker. No, I've changed from dark chocolate to like, pretty much looks like the black on this plastic. But anyhow, so now it's time for the most difficult part, which is pretty much taking out the rest of the bolts from inside the engine, close to the header. So this is gonna be amazing. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys this. This is what the catalytic converter looks like when you take it out and like in the whole exhaust system. And so I'll show you guys how to take the bolts out of there. So you have the 2 bolts that I told you guys to take off, which are over here on the that connect to the Y pipe. But also the hard parts are gonna be these bolts over here, which are, there's 3 of them. There's one here, and one here. And it's kind of weird because you can see, even when it's out, there's this dude here, and it's just interesting because there's one permanent one that actually is there. So that one, you're just gonna have to take out the nuts. But some of them, you have to take out the bolts. This one actually got stripped, so it was a lot easier for me to take out. But there's 3 of them, so this will be the easiest because you get to it from under the engine, so from under the car. But this is gonna be the troublesome bolt. This is pretty much from the left side of the exhaust, so you can see kind of like the where the O2 sensor used to go. So I took that out, and so you have to take the bolt out of here. So this one you can get to it from under the car, but this one you might have to get to it from inside the engine bay. So you have to open up the hood and then use the extensions that I showed you guys to get to this one. But for me, this was easier because it was already stripped, so I just literally just pulled it out. So I was lucky there. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys. So the other cat, I'm not going to show it to you guys, but it pretty much is the same thing but reversed. So this O2 sensor is on the other side, so it kind of looks kind of like that. So yeah, you do the same thing for the other part. So again, it's going to be easier to take out this, and it's going to be harder to take out this 2 at the top. So yeah, good luck, guys. We're pretty much going to have to go. One of them is like over there. I can't really see it right now, but let me see if I can use my camera to find it. Where are you, you silly bolt? Nope. I can't find it, but pretty much that's just one of the parts that you have to take apart. Just one of the silly bolts that are there. And then another one is over there. And in some of the videos, they said you have to take apart, you have to remove this brace that's over here, and you have to take apart the intake tubes and everything. But in my situation, I didn't really need to take those out. I pretty much just used the, I had to use like a bunch of extensions.
So to take out the most difficult nuts through the front of the car, you can't really do it normally, and so I had to create these extensions. So there are 2 extensions, then there's a universal joint, and then there's a socket, and then up top you have the ratchet.
I don't know why Nissan make this so hard.
I tried getting out the bolts for hours, but it still couldn't get free. And so I pretty much abandoned ship and started the next day.
Morning, partners. So this is day, I don't know if it's 7 or 8, I don't know, but pretty much I'm done working on this car. And I haven't pretty much been able to take apart this stupid test pipe because it's not as easy as it seems. So there are like 2 or 3 of the bolts that are stripped or they're like broken off, and so it's almost impossible for me to get to them. And so right now I have no idea how I'm supposed to do that. And I'm now almost even regretting my decision to work on this thing myself. I don't know if it was a wise idea or a very stupid idea. Because yeah, I've wasted so much time on this project and I'm just done. So right now I just want to get this done as fast as possible. But it's just remaining those bolts, and some of them just don't want to go off as well. So let's just see what we can do today. If we can't do it, then I'll just pretty much take the car down and drive it like that with the exhaust and everything hanging out to the mechanic's place to fix it, because yeah, I'm done. Look at that. That is supposed to be a bolt or a place where you put a bolt. But if you can see, it's pretty much sheared off and I do not know how to get it off. So that is going to be a problem.
And that's not a ghost, I promise. It's just me trying to get to the bolt that was the most difficult to get to. And I was determined on getting the cat out, and so it took a while. Yeah, and that's at 1 a.m. by the way.
Morning, partners. How are you guys doing today? Well, this is day 7, I think, or I think day 7 of me trying to take out this very, very silly cat. But finally, by the grace of God, I finally got the first one. Oh my gosh, this was the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life, but I did it. And so I saved some money there. But it's not over yet, because I still need to take out the second cat. But the problem that I'm going to show you now is that I have a stripped bolt, and I do not have enough money to buy like a saw to saw out the bolt or something. So that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to check YouTube for any potential solutions. But before we do any other thing, since I've taken out the cats now, I've just taken out one of them completely. Let me just show you exactly how this sounds, because it's actually kind of scary. It's like 9 a.m. in the morning, so I'm probably gonna wake people in my dorm, but I don't know, it's just gonna be gold. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was too loud. Oh my gosh. And I'm very sure everybody at my dorm hates me. There you are. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but that's the stupid bolt. Look at it there. Like, it's literally stripped off. Look, I'm gonna try to look. Look. Ah! Oh my gosh, you guys will never believe what just happened. Just guess. I finally took out the nut. And the way this thing happened was actually the stupidest thing, because I was about to literally go and get a saw from Walmart that I was going to use to saw this thing off. But I was just like, oh, why don't I just use the nut and pretty much just loosen it a little bit. And so when I did that, I was pressing it. I was like, yeah! I used all my manly power that I do not have. Oh my gosh. Yes! And finally it is off. So finally I could take off this stupid catalytic converter and replace it with test pipes. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I should start like a dance.
Ya todos los valientes tienen corridos, hasta muchas mujeres tienen canciones. Ahora les cantaremos a aquellos hombres que viven muy feliz. De mandilones, su vieja les ordena como su jefe.
Okay, oh gosh. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the horrible catalytic converters. Now it's time for the test pipes.
So like you guys saw earlier, I removed the first O2 sensor when the cats were still attached to the whole exhaust system. But I later found that it was easier to pretty much just take out the cats and then remove the O2 sensors. That's until I almost broke my finger.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that hurt. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Oh my god. Oh, it's finally out. Oh.
So after taking out the O2 sensors from the cats, the next thing was to put them back onto the test pipes. And after the painful experience, it was time to put on the golden test pipes. So the first step is to put the gaskets on, use the bolts to hold them in place, and then put on the test pipes.
Okay, so again, morning partners. As you guys can see, the car is no longer on jack stands again. So that is a problem because yesterday I took off the jack stands, and now the problem is that I kind of have to take it up again so I can show you guys exactly what I did. Because I gave myself the deadline that I was going to finish up the test pipes project yesterday, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pretty much finish it up. But right now I'm just gonna take it up. Oh my gosh, this is gonna take a while. You can see the test pipes. That's the first one, and that's the second one over there. The full exhaust is still stock. The whole system is still stock, if you guys can see. So it's just these dudes that have been changed. And yeah, so far it's going so good. You can see my golden craftsmanship. I also had to buy these bolts because they didn't supply some of them stock. They only supplied like a few, but it wasn't enough, so I had to go buy a few and all. Yeah, so the hard part wasn't even installing the test pipes. No. The hardest part was pretty much taking out the most annoying bolts and nuts ever. Because Nissan, again, I've said this in a previous video, they just make it really difficult for us to be racers or for us to modify our cars. But finally, after a week or so of doing a job that a professional would do in like maybe an hour or two, I finally finished. But the really cool part is that I did it myself. I could finally say that I did something myself on my car, and it wasn't something that's maybe just really simple. It was, to me, it was really difficult, and it wasn't supposed to be that difficult, but I'm still really proud that I did it by myself. And now I just pray that nothing falls apart, or as I'm driving, the test pipes don't just fly off and like destroy me and the car and cause like a big fiery explosion. It's just a really good feeling to know that I did something on this car to make it better and to make it sound very, very ricey. But in this video, I'll pretty much just give it a cold start because I haven't started it for the whole day. But it sounds really good. And in the next video, we're gonna pretty much do a bunch of driving shots, and I'll put cameras and all that so you guys can hear exactly how it sounds. How it sounded. It was kind of loud, actually. It's actually kind of loud, but you guys will hear exactly how it sounds in the next video where I'll put like a bunch of cameras. But thank you all so much for watching this golden video, and if you like this video, give a thumbs up. If you disliked it, then give a thumbs down. And yeah, just let me know what other future mods I should do to this car, because this is summer and I need a summer project. But thank you all so much for watching this golden video, and I'll catch you guys on the next golden drive. See ya.